This is the Great Bowl Football Show, presented by Gate City Bank.
Hello, everyone. The list of FCS teams who are unbeaten overall with an FBS win and all Division I wins, well, it's a small list. And this list includes top-ranked North Dakota State after the Bison polished off a perfect 3-0 non-conference schedule this weekend. This weekend, it was Prairie View A&M out of Texas falling at the Fargo Dome. The Bison are 3-0. Head coach Craig Bohl joins us now, and congratulations on this non-conference slate, and assess your team after 3 games.
Well, you know, we've made real progress, and it's important each one of those wins, they brought something different to the table. The thing that we were most impressed with, Jeremy, Prairie View A&M was a competitive football team, but quite frankly, we felt coming into the game we needed to execute, we needed to play well. If we did that, we're going to be able to play a lot of people, and we certainly did that. I thought we had a really good performance last night.
Now, Marcus Williams and Ryan Smith sat out. They may have been able to go had it been a bigger ball game, but it was a situation where you just wanted to set them and make sure they were healthy for the conference play, right?
We look, and every game is a big game, but they're health-wise right now. They weren't quite back to 100%, and plus we've got more depth on our football team, and our motto is we're going to play the next best, healthiest guy. Yep. Certainly, it's going to be great to have those guys back inserted in the lineup in our next opponent's game.
Prairie View A&M, they're from the Houston, Texas area. Let's check out the game from the Fargo Dome, Gate City Bank Field. A great crowd. Again, it was very loud early on in the ball game, and the first play that we're going to take a look at is a sweep play to Cooper Wallow. He's fast.
Oh, he's got great speed, Jeremy. Here you can see some excellent blocking, and Cooper really has done a nice job developing his skill set, not only as a receiver, but here as a runner.
Brock Jensen was on point, a nice back shoulder throw here.
Well, these are difficult throws to make and to catch, and that really puts the defense in a precarious situation. That cornerback, you put the ball there, it's tough to defend that play.
I'll tell you what, this Bison defensive line with Drevlo and Levon Perry is something special.
Well, great push by Levon here. You can see just overpowering the guards, and that gives the ends a chance to close the pocket. And I believe that's Schatzy coming up with the fumble recovery.
Brian Schatz, you get a forced fumble right there. And then Zach Vraw really starts to take over, a nice 5-yard play.
You know, you can see good timing throw by Brock, good protection, but we don't have to throw it very far there. Zach's got good hands.
You get a field goal out of this, it's 10-0.
You know, we would have preferred a touchdown, but it was good. We want to have every drive in a kick of some sort. The good thing was we didn't have to punt yesterday.
Talk about your defensive ends. They meet at the quarterback on this play.
Yeah, we've got good pressure from the outside, and you can see once again good pressure. I believe that's Kyle Emanuel coming in from the right flank, coming up with the sack.
This play, Brock Jensen to Zach Vraw, really got the crowd into it. Zach Vraw carried this defensive back probably 20 yards.
Well, you know what? Good play-action pass. We got the safety up. Zach got behind him, and you can see Zach's strength here. He did carry him 20 yards in for the touchdown.
17-0 at this point, and Mike Hardy's a guy that can play defensive end. You move him into defensive tackle a little bit. On this play, he's inside at defensive tackle.
Well, what we're trying to do, Jeremy, is put our best pass rushers on the field during that time. That's our nickel package, and so it's good to have Mike come in and play over the guard as opposed to over a tackle.
Talk about the timing between Zach Vraw and Brock Jensen. We'll see it on a couple different plays right here.
Well, here's a timing throw, and the defensive back is off in coverage a little bit. And, you know, a lot of that's just arm strength by Brock, and then Zach throwing really good timing routes out there for him to throw to.
27 yards, then 19 yards right there. Now as we move into the second quarter, it's Nate Moody, and this wide receiver group is really emerging.
Well, you know what? Kenny Burns has done a great job with this group, and what's really been special is look how many different receivers we're throwing to, Jeremy. A lot of guys are getting catches during the course of the game. That just makes it much more difficult to defend.
Now, Grant Olson has done a really good job stuffing the run.
He's a solid player inside. He's our Mike linebacker, and you can see him filling the gap right there, making a very sure tackle.
The 1-2 punch at running back was on display. Here's John Crockett for a touchdown.
Well, John's done a nice job here finding his way. He's got excellent speed, and he's a strong runner as well.
I love this next play. Offensive line play has been great, but Joe Lund gets a pancake block on this next play, breaking Samuel Jury for 10 yards.
Well, Joe Lund is one of our senior captains. He's a strong guy, and here you can see him move, take that defensive lineman down, and Sam does a nice job finding his way, getting closer to the end zone.
So it's 31-0. Now make it 38 after this touchdown by Samuel Jersey.
Well, good job of blocking up front. Sam's a strong physical guy. 38-0. We like where we're sitting.
You created some turnovers in this ball game too. Here's another forced fumble.
Well, anytime a defense is out there, if you're explosive, you're going to have a chance to get the ball out through some hard hits. And here you can see Carl Littlejohn put his hat on the football, came out. Christian Dudzik comes up, and those are things that we work on in practice.
Second quarter now, and Carson Wentz is already in the ball game here.
Well, it's good to see Carson get some meaningful reps here. You can see him rolling out the play-action pass. He's got the run-pass option and comes up with a nice game.
Here he finds Taylor Nelson. Prairie View A&M lost Taylor Nelson in the coverage here.
Well, sometimes good tight ends find their way to get open. Here you can see Carson checking down to his third receiver. Nice throw and catch, and once again, that's another receiver scoring a touchdown.
It's 45-0 at half. That wraps up the first half. 45-zip, great stats. Brock Jensen was really solid, 13 of 15. Zach Vraw had a full game in one half there, 8 catches, 156 yards, and 2 scores. Mike Hardy, the 2 sacks. Prairie View A&M had 1 first down in the entire first half, due in part to that defensive line. And Ryan Drevlo, one of the stars on the D-line, is on the Bison hot seat. What is the most painful injury you've ever had?
Dislocated elbow.
Ouch. You prefer fruit or vegetables?
Fruit.
What's more important to you, television or internet? What could you not live without?
Internet.
Okay. Favorite season, spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Fall.
If you could have an endless supply of food, what would it be?
Steak.
T-bones, or what do you think?
Ribeye.
Oh, nice. How many dates would you go on before you introduced this person to your parents?
10.
What was your favorite cartoon as a kid?
Bugs Bunny.
If you owned a yacht, what would you name it?
Thundar.
What is your worst personality trait?
Hot-tempered.
If you could snap your fingers and appear somewhere else, where would it be?
Canada.
Welcome back. Well, Coach, it's 45-0 at half. I'm guessing at halftime you're figuring out, what reserve players are going to get some playing time in the second half here.
Well, that's pretty accurate. We felt like it was important coming into the game. If we played well, that we were going to get a lot of guys in the game, and those are really valuable reps. Guys go out and they practice hard every week. It was an opportunity for these young guys to get out there and get into a game and see what it's like.
Let's take a look at some of these names that might not be household names for you. We'll break down the second half here. And Andrew Oakland makes a nice catch here early on, a Fargo South product. He's starting to really emerge.
Well, here you can see the good play-action pass. Nice throw by Carson. Puts the ball right where it needs to be, and Andrew Oakland's a very capable receiver.
John Crockett was really chewing up yards in big chunks at this point in the game.
Well, we wanted to get John a couple more carries, and here you can see him finding his way, and he's got excellent speed. He's shifting the ball there a little bit late. We're concerned about that, but he's a live wire, and he's a good football player.
Hey, this Derek Lee at tight end, he is a thick customer, and he really punishes a defensive back here.
He's a big, strong guy, about 245 pounds. He comes up and lowers his shoulder, and that guy's going to be feeling it this morning.
Tell us about Devion Dinwiddie, a very quick scat back type.
He's got a lot of great mobility, really good vision. He doesn't have great size, but here you can see his change of direction, finds a hole and comes up, and he's in the end zone. 52-0
at this point, and Esley Thornton at linebacker makes a big play. Talk about this. This was fun.
This was great to see Esley. He's very athletic, but do you ever wonder if the guy's going to hit? Bam! Yes, he can do it. Nice form tackle right there. Bismarck product, and we see great things for him on the future as the linebacker spot.
We go back to Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie had a big second half, getting obviously a lot of carries in this ball game, but right up the gut here.
Here you can see a good job of blocking, but moreover, just his excellent speed and change of direction. He's a shifty back that's hard to tackle.
Dinwiddie gets a 9-yard score here. At this point, it's a 59-0 ball game.
Well, the thing we're pleased with, Jeremy, even though we're up by 59 points, our guys kept playing hard. It's important that you go out and play at a fast pace and keep that competitive edge.
Play of the game right here. It's Andrew Bonnet, and he is going to hurdle a couple of guys. This is an athletic play.
Well, Andrew's about 245 pounds. He comes out of the backfield here, and you can see boom, up and over. They've got a lot of superlatives on the sidelines, I can tell you that.
That's a big guy in the air right there. Hey, Matt Jones, we talked about Devion Dinwiddie, but Matt Jones is another back. Talk about what he brings to the table.
Well, Matt's got good change of direction. He's a shifty back, and he's hard to tackle, and here it's good to see him get in the game and get some extra yardage.
20 yards on that carry. He'll get 10 more on this. He's from Arizona, right?
Yeah, he's from Scottsdale, and he's done a nice job, and here you can see him coming back across the offensive line of scrimmage and trying to come up with some extra yards. We're inside the 5.
Now, Dinwiddie will finish this off, his third score of the ball game. It's 66-0 at this point.
Well, 66-0. I thought we could play well, but I wasn't thinking 66-0.
A.J. Van Voorhis is a really good special teams player. He got some time at safety in the second half of this ballgame. Big hit right here.
Well, you know, the officials are really guarded as far as hit to the head. A.J. came in with the shoulder, and he was flagged for you know, helmet to helmet. And the way the officials look at it, if it's close, they're going to flag it.
Hey, we're going to tip the hat to Prairie View. They got on the board at the end of the ball game.
I know,
here.
our guys are out there. We were yelling and screaming. We've got all our reserves in. We're trying to keep that goose egg up there. But Prairie View, those guys practice hard, and they came up. This was a nice throw and a good catch by the receiver in that corner of the end zone.
Well, the final score was 66-7, a very dominating performance by the Bison, 3-0 in non-conference play. Carson Wentz, 8 of 8. And Brock Jensen also only incompleted 2 passes, so the quarterback play was fantastic. Dinwiddie had 79 yards in a mop-up roll. NDSU scored on 10 of 11 possessions. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
We were able to spread the ball around today, and you know, just keep them guessing. You know, our run to pass at the end of the game was pretty much even. Coach Viggs does a great job of just keeping the defense guessing, and you know, we were able to make some plays out there. And all our wide receivers contributed, and it was just great.
We had a good snap key with the dome being so loud. Their tackles were getting off a little late, and you know, we take pride if they're going to 5-step drop every play. You know, our goal is to get to the quarterback, make it easy on our DBs and our linebackers. So we were able to do that pretty well tonight.
You don't really expect to go in there unless something happens to Brock here, but until maybe the second half. But it was good to get out there, and it was fun to get some valuable playing time instead of just mop-up duty. So it was fun to get out there.
Fun to hear a little bit from Carson Wentz right there. As we get into talking about this game, Coach, this was the first game without Colton Hegel. I saw Colton over on the sidelines, had a headset on. He was in his street clothes, so it was kind of odd to see him out of uniform, but he was really into the defense. He was coaching guys up, and he's the son of a coach, I believe, at the high school ranks, so he really understands the game and can be valuable in that role, huh?
He certainly is, and we're trying to keep our players actively involved. He's going to come up and have surgery here fairly soon, but, you know, there's a core group within our football team. This is a tight team. They've got each other's backs. They support one another. You don't see any individual displays where it's about them. It's about our football team. And guys like Colton add so much in that locker room.
Marcus Williams and Ryan Smith, let's update their situations. A big ball game coming up with Northern Iowa this week. So how are these two doing?
You know what? I think they're going to be back at 100% come Monday's practice. And we're going to need them. We got conference play coming up. You know, at us in Northern Iowa had some very spirited games, and it's going to have those two guys back in that starting lineup.
Let's break down this sweep play, end-around play to Cooper Wallow. I think this is probably ways just to get Cooper involved, isn't it? He's got great athletic ability.
Without question. And, you know, that really stresses the defense when you bring a wide receiver across where you're normally going in to change a formation. Now, all of a sudden, he's able to carry the football. You know, it really poses some problems just because of his speed. And so we're really pleased that we've been able to utilize his athleticism in that way.
Let's talk about this wide receiver group. And, you know, last year Warren Holloway was the only receiver to catch a touchdown pass, but you're really spraying the ball around. This is an emerging group overall, and you really have only had Ryan Smith for one game there, too.
Right. You know what's interesting, too, of the 5 guys are all really solid players. There's 3 North Dakota kids up there, Moody, Smith, and Oakland, all from the state of North Dakota, playing wide receiver here at NDSU.
Well, now as we start to pay attention about what's going on around the country, it's a grind from week in and week out, and that grind starts for NDSU this week in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. But here's 5 teams that lost yesterday. There's no given. Sam Houston State still doesn't have a qualified win. Neither does Northern Iowa. New Hampshire loses, Montana loses, Maine loses. That's just yesterday, so it's not easy on a week-to-week basis, is it?
No, it's not. And we tell our players that all the time. I think they understand. Every Saturday, you better be bringing your A game or you're going to get beat. That's just the nature of college football. It's competitive level. The Missouri Valley, without question, is the top FCS league in the country. We're getting ready to go into it this next week.
How about some of these teams that play 2 FBS games, like Sam Houston State? They played a NAIA team. They played Baylor. They still have to play Texas A&M, so they're sitting here almost through September without a qualified win. That's tough.
Well, it really is because, you know, what you're vying for is to have the 7 qualifying wins to get you in the playoffs. And so we've been fortunate right now, Jeremy, we have 3, and we're doing everything we can to come up with our next win.
The defense has been playing so great. Chris Kleiman has taken over the defense this year from Scotty Hazelton. We're going to talk about that transition within the defense. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Bison defense was the best in the nation last year. Scott Hazelton was the leader of that group. Hazelton is at USC now. Under the leadership of Chris Kleiman, the Bison defense still appears to be the best in the nation. Jamal Spencer takes a look at how this unit has stayed together through a coordinator change.
Probably one of the smartest guys of football-wise that I've ever been around, and the best coach I've been around too. So he knows the ins and outs of everything.
When former defensive coordinator Scotty Hazelton left for USC, NDSU decided to promote from within to replace him, and secondary coach Chris Kleiman was the logical choice.
We've got a great defense.